Final game of this 3-game series, Rangers and Blue Jays. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. The Rangers 24 and 26. They're very much in need of a win. Chu in that leadoff spot, acting as the DH today. Well, he has just been killing it, getting on base in that leadoff position. Lucroy behind the plate, and in the outfield, a little bit of a twist as Mazzara will get the start in right field, and Rua in left. All against Biagini today. Joe Biagini, 1-2 with a 375 earned run average. His 5th start of the year, and he starts us off with strike 1.
And we'll take a look at what Joe Biagini will be featuring. There's the arsenal right there. 4-seam fastball, lots of them that sit right around 94 miles an hour. Curveball, changeup, cutter, pretty even mix as far as what he does with his secondary pitches.
Well, working the strike zone early against Chu. Up ahead here, no balls, 2 strikes. Chu with that 255 average. The on-base percentage, though, the number you worry about, not worry about, the number you focus on, it's very good. But he's down swinging on 3 pitches to start our ball game this afternoon.
Good looking changeup from Biagini, and not necessarily a huge strikeout guy, but he obviously with that kind of movement, especially against lefties, he'll have pretty good opportunity. Now let's take a look at the Blue Jays defense. Chris Coughlin will be in left, Pilar Batista in right. Donaldson and Troy Tulowitzki now back in the lineup after they were activated on the first game of this series. Both played, both also took a day off yesterday, but they're back in there. Dynamic duo there on the left side.
Now Elvis Andrus, 269 batting average, and Biagini with 4 strikes to start this one today. Andrus with 6 home runs. He homered in the final game Thursday in Boston. And over the top of that curveball.
You see it's a straight over the top delivery, and that's how he's able to get that legitimate 12-6 action on that curveball. If you notice as well, Biagini is throwing from the stretch. He was a reliever all of last year. He was a reliever for his first 14 games pitched this year, just inserted into the rotation now. This is his 5th start.
Another big curve. Andrus held off, and that's the first miss so far today for Biagini.
Let's take a look here at this Elvis Andrus swing. That looked like he held back. He's letting everybody know he did not swing at that. That's a good breaking ball, though, from Biagini. That's going to be a tough pitch to lay off of today for these Rangers hitters.
Well, it's Biagini's 27th birthday today. Big right-hander, 6'5", 240 pounds, and a little tapper out toward short. Tulowitzki is there, and 2 away. Well, our TXU Energy power player to watch, Nomar Mazzara. And you can see 20 straight starts now, in which he has reached safely. He is 7th in the league with his 32 RBIs. Nomar's been on once in each of the first 2 games of this series. Had a base hit in Friday's game. That was a little ahead of Odor's home run in the 9th inning. Yesterday walked in the 1st. He takes one of the dirt. Need to correct myself. It's not Biagini's birthday today. It'll be tomorrow. Just kind of getting excited about the 29th.
Everybody gets excited about their birthday. I didn't know you got excited about Joe Biagini's birthday, though.
Today was his due date.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Just took a little longer. Fouled away, and it's 1-1 on Mazzara. How about the sunshine today? Roof open. Yesterday, they had it open for the better part of the morning, closed it just before game time. And this is the first time this year that the Blue Jays play outdoors, at least in their home ballpark. Little bouncer, left side, and just past Tulowitzki. Mazzara is on in the 1st inning.
You're right. It is a perfect day here for baseball. It's nice to see when the roof is open in Toronto. Get a Great view. Let's take a look at the replay here on this ground ball. A little bit of a shift up the middle as Tulowitzki was shading much closer to the second base bag and could not get to that one. And even if he got to it, I'm not sure he would have been able to throw it. Nomar Mazara anyway coming out of the left-handed batter's box. Yeah, always nice when the roof is open here. People want to talk about, well, will the ball fly more? What happens? It really all depends on whether or not the wind picks up. And right now it's pretty calm, and so I got to believe it'll play as home run friendly as it always plays here anyway.
Yeah.
Not that they need any help, but if that wind picks up, you may see a couple of routine fly balls get a little extra carry on them. But right now, I'd say probably not much difference in what we saw through the first 2 games of this series.
Well, Lucroy gets to the plate in the first inning after the Mazara base hit. Had a couple of doubles here on Friday. He takes a strike. In fact, he's been driving the ball a little bit lately. Started picking it up the last couple of weeks now, hitting .360 over the last 13 games. But when you look more recently, 6 of his 10 hits over the last 9 games have gone for extra bases. And a big curveball in there, strike 2. Wow, it's an impressive pitch. We've seen it a bunch already here in the first inning.
It is, and just a 167 batting average against this curveball all year for Joe Biagini, but well located. He finished just on the corner, at least as across the plate, but probably actually finished off by the time it got to the glove.
Mazara with a small lead at first base. Doesn't look like he's interested in testing Biagini. And Russell Martin, the catcher today. Blue Jays wearing those red unis. They do those on Sundays here at home, celebrating the 150th birthday of their country. The big red maple leaf on the front of the cap. It's fouled away. It stays 2-2 on Lucroy.
I'd not be surprised to see potentially Nomar Mazara in motion. He wasn't there. Russell Martin has had a pretty tough time so far this year. 14 of 17 base runners have been successful against him. Biagini, on the other hand, though, only 2 stolen bases, 2 attempts, 2 successful attempts. But get down to 2 strikes, you got a guy who's showing some swing and miss pitches here earlier with Biagini. Maybe not a bad idea to get Nomar in motion.
Not going, and it's spoiled again by Lucroy. Good extended at bat now. Top of the first inning just underway. Rangers wrapping up this series in Toronto. They lost by 1 run on Friday, 7-6 the final score. Yesterday, 2 swings in the game that accounted for all the scoring. Chu had a home run in the first for the Rangers, and the Blue Jays got a 3-run homer from Jose Bautista in the 5th. That was it in a 3-1 game. This one outside. Lucroy held up, and it's a full count. Took just about everything he had to hold up.
And this little bat twirl at the end as well is pretty impressive.
So now, CJ, I'm with you. I think Mazara's running.
Good chance here.
There he goes. And this one lined out toward right field, slicing down toward the corner, just foul. Well, you knew off the bat that was going to be a nearly impossible play for Bautista where he was set up.
Yeah, I was thinking more was whether or not was this ball going to bounce into the stands. I thought it was going to stay fair, but it kept slicing. That's a good-looking swing from Jonathan Lucroy, who was excellent, by the way, at putting the ball in play with 2 outs. But that one just kind of kept drifting and drifting, and then eventually did bounce into the stands. But you mentioned how Jonathan has been slugging a lot lately, more extra base hits. Well, one thing he has been doing consistently throughout the year is putting the ball in play once he gets to these 2 strike counts.
Well, I'll try to do it again here. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming from Biagini. Mazara again on the move. This one out toward right field. And this time Bautista coming in, and he's able to make the play. So the inning is over. Rangers leave Mazara in the top of the 1st. Beautiful Lake Ontario. right here in Toronto. To do some work against these Blue Jays. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. Kevin Pillar again in that leadoff spot. Rangers have done a good job of keeping him quiet. Smoke has been the big hitter in this lineup, largely because he's been healthy for the better part of the year.
And they'll be going up against Andrew Castor today. We'll take a look at the pitch arsenal. 2-seam fastballs and lots of them. That pitch will average 92 miles an hour. You'll see some 94s and some 95s from Andrew Castor today, but he does such a great job of using that inside to righties. That is his game plan. The changeup and the slider are kind of the next go-tos when you start to look at his secondary off-speed pitches. You see the velocities there for Castor, and really looking for a bounce-back outing here. This would be the perfect time to have it against the Jays.
Well, he starts Pillar up high. Kevin Pillar, 289 average. 5th in the American League with 56 hits. Doing a good job of getting on base in front of their big hitters, and bounces it foul. The throw goes wide of first, but it was a foul ball. Everybody's running around like crazy, but it's a dead ball. The play's over.
Even Rugi goes out there and just throws it to third, and nobody's home. And actually, that ball was called by Luis Rivera. Now listen, you keep going until you know 100% sure that the ball is foul, so everybody keeps playing, and it was, and you'll see an home plate umpire make the call here. Joey Gallo goes ahead and throws it anyway, just in case. Now he is clearly in foul territory, but ends up throwing it away there. Mike Napoli starts chasing it. You'll see Rougned Odor start doing the same thing afterwards, and it wasn't close. I mean, it was definitely way foul. But like you said, you keep going. Rugi went all the way down the right field line in foul territory, picked up that ball and just turned and threw it to third base, and nobody was there, and so the Blue Jays third base coach Luis Rivera caught the ball in a couple of hops.
So now the 1-1 pitch, and that one is down the left field line. That is a fair ball, and bounces off the top of the fence. Pillar to second, and he gets his double.
See it there, 13th of the year for Kevin Pillar, and there's a pitch that got a little farther in than Andrew Castor wanted, actually trying to go away, and misses his spot, and Pillar was ready for it and almost had himself a ground rule double. That ball hit the very top of the wall. As you see Ryan Rua fielding it and just throwing it into his cutoff man toward third. No chance it'll play at second with this speedy Pillar.
So he's in scoring position for Josh Donaldson, who hits the ball on the ground. Odor picks it up, retires Donaldson, but Pillar now just 90 feet away.
You know, that conversation where people say, well, you know, you did your job, you got the runner over in that situation. That's not an at-bat that Josh Donaldson is happy with. Not in the first inning with the runner on second base. And even though he is a number 2 hole hitter, we know that he's got some pop, former MVP. He's trying to drive the ball in that situation. It's a productive out, but not one that he is necessarily satisfied with.
Gets the Rangers infield up on the edge of the grass. Try and cut down Pilar. Jose Bautista up there, and he waves at strike 1. Bautista, 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. Rejoined the team on Friday. Pardon me, Donaldson rejoined the team on Friday.
Just keep wanting Jose Bautista to be hurt, huh?
I don't know what's going on there. Bautista lifts this one out to left field. Rule over. They'll make the play, but it's going to be deep enough. Pilar tags, and it'll be 1-0 Toronto. So Bautista picks up his 27th RBI with a sacrifice fly.
We need to take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. You just saw Ryan Rue there, already involved in a couple of plays in left field. Hoying and Mazard. No Delano DeShields today, who was dealing with some back spasms. You also saw him go pretty hard into the wall down the line yesterday. Gallo, Andrews, Odor, Napoli, and Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate with Andrew Kashner.
So the first run of the game scored by the Blue Jays. Kendrys Morales. Morales homered Friday night. Yesterday had a double and a walk. He's lifted the average some 7 points in the first 2 games of this series, and he's done a very good job for Toronto filling in that DH spot for them. This ball hit out to left field, but slices toward the stands, and it is 1-2. We talked about on Friday night the loss of Edwin Encarnacion in the offseason was one that no doubt had fans here concerned about how would the Blue Jays build around what was left of their lineup. Well, they've done well by Morales.
And they made Encarnacion a very fair offer. When it was all said and done, that, as far as fans going and maybe getting upset, there really wasn't that opportunity.
Kashner scrambling off the mound to make the play and retires Morales. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays score first. 1-0 as we go to the second. Rougned Odor will lead things off when we come back.
A big year. 13 strikeouts for him. You see that, 15. Career high 15 last night versus the Padres. Doesn't matter who it is. I know the Padres are struggling this year. We saw them as well. But how about him and Max Scherzer right now? Back-to-back 13 strikeout games. First time that has happened in a couple of years now. Corey Kluber and Carlos Carrasco did that against the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see those Washington Nationals here pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see them close up. They're having a monster year.
Bunt laid down by Odor. Martin with a great play to barehand it, and is thrown out in time. Odor beats out a bunt single to start the second inning.
Tell you what, off the bat, this looked like an automatic base hit, and credit Russell Martin for making a pretty incredible play to make this thing even close. Odor gets it down, busts it out of the box, and watch Russell Martin here, the way he hops. Slide, spin, and make a great throw with something on it. That's a tough call to make as an umpire. We'll see the replay here. So close. And you think about replay and how close that play is, right? You might have been able to call that play either way, whether that was a safe call or an out call, and I don't think either one would have got turned over in replay. That's how close that was.
Safe by a mile. Odor on to start the inning.
Or would he say?
Here's Napoli. That was an unbelievable play by Martin, though. And we talked yesterday about his athleticism, his expertise in karate. But I mean, he jumps out of that crouch so quickly. Very, very athletic as a catcher.
The slide, field the ball cleanly, spin, and make a perfect throw. Try doing that just without anything happening, without a guy running down the base. It would take you 20 throws to maybe get one on the money, and do it with that kind of speed with all that gear on. It was incredible.
1-1 to Napoli now. And we put him in the spotlight right before we got started today. Napoli has had a nice road trip. You see the 11 home runs. That's 10th in the American League now. Average has been in the steady climb lately in the 1-1. This ball lifted high in the air. Shallow center, though. Pilar waits on it. And that is out number one.
We start thinking about a guy like Mike Napoli and some of the power hitters that are in this Rangers lineup. Joe Biagini has only allowed 2 home runs this year, and they have both been to right-handed hitters. He does a nice job of keeping the ball on the ground. It's about a league average strikeout rate, but the ground ball rate is pretty good at 61%, actually very good at 61%. So getting the ball in the air against him can be a little bit tricky. So we'll see what happens with some of these power bats today in the Ranger lineup.
A little shift on the infield. You saw Biagini step off the rubber. Right side of the infield, the swap in positions. Donaldson, the third baseman, playing between Smoke and Travis, the second baseman. Tulowitzki staying over at short. Now Tulo angling towards second base. What's going on here?
I mean, a lot of moving around as far as who wants to play what position. I don't know what that was.
Put a tight end in motion for the next pitch, no doubt. Odor off first, and he's going.
Big jump. Huge
and a swing
jump.
and a miss by Gallo. But boy, oh boy, Odor steals his 5th base, and by a mile.
Yeah, this is a big jump here. Look at that big jump, and just really nice job here by Rougned Odor to get down to second quickly. I mentioned Russell Martin, just 14 of 17 coming into today, has only thrown 3 base stealers out the entire season. 14 to 13, 17 successful.
So Odor in scoring position, 1 out. And the 1-1. Odor with that bunt hit, and then the aggressiveness stealing second base. There's a little of that Carlos Gomez feel to it, the way we had seen him earlier in the year kind of spark the offense with scrappy play and little small ball efforts like that. 2-1. That's tight. But the stolen bases for the Rangers, they've really run well this year.
And that does include the Rougned Odor stolen base that we just saw. So most in the American League, and maybe not what you were thinking coming in. I mean, a lot of that depended on how much playing time Delino to Shields was going to get, but certainly Jeff Bannister very aggressive with his runners.
Andrews 5th in the American League with 9 stolen bases. Saw Odor with his 5th stolen base. They're spreading it around. So full count now on Joey Gallo. And he takes it low. That's ball 4. So 2 men aboard.
The great discipline of Joey Gallo continues as we see the monster improvements. Not chasing that changeup from Joe Biagini, and now all of a sudden the Rangers are in business here in the second.
Couple of men out there for Ryan Rua. Rua getting the start in left field today for Delano DeShields, who kind of banged himself up a little bit yesterday, diving for a ball out of the left field corner, then sliding into the wall. Got up, his back bothering him after that play. It was a little tight today.
And they don't think it's going to be anything serious, so maybe just one day off here. We'll see how it plays out for Delano DeShields.
Rua started the game yesterday at first base. He had a double. Right now, a base hit would be huge. Trailing 1-0. And it's 1-1.
You see Ryan Rua as of late swinging a very good bat and taking advantage of that playing opportunity that he has been getting a little bit more here as of late.
Biagini with a check of the runners. And it's off the plate again, 2-1. He's fallen behind Rangers hitters this inning. Of course, Odor just laid down at the bunt on the first pitch he saw. Worked his way back against Gallo, eventually losing him to the walk, though. Bouncer up the middle. Biagini grabs it. He'll go to second for one. The relay in time, and that one might be reviewed. See the hands immediately held up in that Rangers dugout. They're going to want to take a quick look to see if that's worth a review.
You watch these live. These umpires are very good. We watch these plays live, and it certainly did appear that Ryan Rua had beaten this throw. We'll take a look there, and that is confirmed. He absolutely beat that out, and the Rangers are going to challenge it.
Now they're going to challenge it, and they're going to no doubt win that challenge, and so ultimately we'll have men on the corners. Now you just get that internal clock. That was close, and Tulowitzki made it close. There was a moment there where you thought, well, there's no ways.
Yep.
He just got a shot.
They did a good job. He didn't have time to necessarily plant his feet. He knew he just had to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible, and did a very nice job of even making that a close play, and hopefully this one won't last too long. Take at the super slow-mo look here. Watch Ryan Rua's foot hit. Ball still in the air, and this should be, hopefully will be a quick one.
They've been pretty good about that on this road trip and in this series. Bill West struggling with the headset there, but I don't think that's material. It doesn't really matter. It's a funny thing about the headsets. It's not like New York's looking for input.
No,
they're checking it out. They're just going to relay the message.
It's not a two-way. Country Joe.
That dadgum thing right there.
On Country Day here. Struggling with the head. I mean, those are some huge cans on there, aren't they? How big those are.
Air traffic control.
Really,
air traffic control. Come here.
Sorry. This is taking way too long for a play that we just saw in that super slow motion replay. But again, Troy Tulowitzki did a really nice job of even making this close.
Joe West, our crew chief.
How about that talk where they were saying? How about when they were talking about wanting to go to NFL style? We've heard that a little bit, like as we tweak replay and talk about where they actually go down and look in for 30 seconds or whatever it is, and then the umpire.
You like that idea?
I hate it. No, the idea of having the umpires on the field disappear, I don't like it at all. Or also they talked about, do you have an umpire announce exactly what happened after the play? They actually do that in Asia, where there's a microphone right behind home plate over there, and the umpire walk over, pick up the microphone, and explain to the fans what happened.
Here we go. Out at second. safe at first.
Oh, so that's why Jeff Bannister went out there. And we missed this last time, where you can, on one replay, challenge multiple things, and they wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything illegal that happened at second base, or I shouldn't say illegal, but just whether or not Troy Tulowitzki actually got his foot on the bag. And he did. You're allowed to do that on one replay, ask for multiple looks. Now, Jeff Bannister went 1 for 2 there, so you don't
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Lose your challenge.
As long as you get one of them right, you keep your challenge. So yeah, that is worth explaining, that while it is a singular challenge, you can challenge multiple things at one time. And we saw that the other day on a play at the plate. Challenge both the tag and then whether or not there was an illegal block at the plate, as Hoying fouls off strike 1. And it's not that you even necessarily think that there was an illegal block at the plate. But Banny's point was, as long as you can, you might as well challenge all of it. Challenge everything you want.
Absolutely.
And make them rule on it. So Odor now is at third, Rua at first. Inning continues for Hoying, 9th place hitter. And he bounces one back toward the mound again. Biagini waits on it. Makes a throw to first. The inning is over. Rangers leave them on the corners. We played 1.5. Blue Jays lead 1-0. Look at Jared Hoying heading out there to center field. How about this yesterday?
Well, incredible players. Ball was driven in the gap. Looked like it was going to be an easy double off the bat. And Jared Hoying obviously does not have a lot of experience here in Toronto and playing the outfield. Didn't have time to necessarily find the wall. And then we saw Delino DeShields. Same thing on a tough play on a ball that was slowly kind of fading away from him. And you see him grab his back there. That's why he is not in the lineup today. They don't think it's going to be anything too serious, but a great play by Hoying and a near great play there, and a great effort by Delino DeShields. I don't love that. I was thinking about it yesterday. I mean, the scoreboards are great in the walls. They look great. A lot of great information, but the fact that they're plexiglass, the idea for players, I mean, what we saw yesterday, I mean, it could have been worse. It should probably be padding all the way around. Put those just a little bit higher, maybe above the wall. I'm sure they're easy to move, right? So not a lot of expense involved.
So I mean, it's not padded.
No, of course not. No. Well, you saw how hard you went into that.
Well, I remember this was many years ago now. It's this one tapped foul by Smokes. Count stays 1-2. Mets and Braves, and Dale Murphy went after a fly ball. This is like 100 years ago. And went into the plexiglass, and his hand went between two panes of the glass, and he cut himself up pretty badly on the play. Had to come out of the game. And that was back in the day where he had a long consecutive games played streak. And the next day was out of the lineup. But he came in and he pinch hit late in the game and hit a home run to win it.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, there have been issues with that plexiglass over the years. Of course, there's chain link in some ballparks.
Well, it's what they have even here in the bullpens, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, and you look above those bullpens, some of the greatest seats for relievers, where you get to sit right above the wall.
Little jury box.
Very cool. Very good view for a reliever. Spent some time out there on the other side.
Looks like a duck boat tour or something. Sitting up top there. Not to your left.
And you see pretty much all the good amount of the Blue Jays relievers out there today, taking in the sun on a beautiful day. A little thinner over there. Is that JJ flying solo?
That's cool. Little me time. 2-2 pitch. And this one lifted down the left field line, but foul and out of play. Smoke doing battle here with Andrew Cashner to start the bottom of the second inning. Blue Jays lead 1-0. Smoke has gotten off to a great start. It's among the American League leaders in slugging, .552 average. And now the ninth pitch of the at bat. He lifts this one to the third base side. Should be playable. And Gallo handles it at foul ground, one away. Time for our Kubota power stats this afternoon. We look at the 10 strikeout starts so far in these first 2 months of the season. Now this is any pitcher with 10 or more strikeouts in a game. 79 of them so far compared to recent years, and you can see that the big strikeout games continue to climb. Bouncer left side. Gallo cuts it off. Easy throw. Martin retired, 2 away.
And not a surprise to see those numbers. I mean, maybe that guys are getting deep enough in games where they're able to get 10 strikeouts early. We showed you Darvish. He has a couple of those this year, the only ones on this Texas Rangers pitching staff. But strikeouts are taking off like crazy right now in this game. Also home runs as well to go with it. But it has been, a phenomenon all of a sudden now with the amount of strikeouts that we're seeing in baseball, and the numbers are getting big, and the rate numbers are getting big. How about this year so far? 8.2 strikeouts per 9. It's the highest all time. Last year was the first time we ever got up over 8 as a game. I mean, it has changed dramatically. The swings and misses and the strikeouts just keep piling up.
0-2 to Tulowitzki. 271 average. Tulowitzki back on Friday, took yesterday off. And in the lineup this afternoon, 2-strike pitch. A little bit in.
Andrew Cashner is doing a really nice job right now, throwing a ton of strikes, keeping these hitters on their toes, keeping them in swing mode. I mentioned where we were with those strikeouts after showing that graphic. We're also in record territory right now for home runs per game.
Line drive up the middle. And this one picked up by Odor. He'll throw out Tulowitzki to end the inning. Cashner just got out of the way of that one. 1-0 Blue Jays. Unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Mike Trout makes the headlines today. Longest home run of the season yesterday at Miami, 443 feet. Dallas Keuchel back off the disabled list for the Astros. That was a short stint for him and came back very strong. Not surprising. He has been unbelievable. And then the Tampa Bay Rays starting to slug the homers again. Second in baseball with 72 of them. And hit them in bunches lately.
Yeah, not a lot of good news there for the Rangers, because that's a couple of teams there in the Rays and the Astros that they'll be playing here. Coming up, we got the homestand, right, where we go Rays and see the Mets a little bit later and the Astros. So yeah, it's not exactly what you want to see from a trend standpoint if you're a Ranger fan.
A 1-0 ball game here, and top of the order in the top of the third. Chu, who struck out in the first inning on 3 pitches, now takes 2 balls. Genie grooves that one, and Chu spoils it. So Chu back in that leadoff spot again today. Homered in the leadoff spot yesterday. Friday had a base hit in 4 tries. And that has been one of the upsides lately. He seems to have really found things. It's 2-2. As the weather begins to warm up, so too are some of these Rangers bats. Chu on a modest 4-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in 6 of the last 8. Better than 300 clip now. And he hits this one on the ground, right side. Smoke is there. He'll feed Biagini, and that is out number 1. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Rick Renner. All right, thanks, Rick. Stanton. I remember when he was Mike Stanton. And then one day, it was
Giancarlo. Name, hitting bombs, cashing in. 325, right? Was that what it was? 325 million, I believe, that deal.
Well, here's Andrews, 0 for 1. Grounded out of the first inning. Biagini gets him to tap one back to the left side of the mound, and a good spinning throw, but not in time to get Andrews, who has great speed. That'll be an infield hit for Elvis.
I'll tell you what, Joe Biagini just did Elvis Andrus and the Rangers a favor. This is one of those plays where you got to know your third baseman. You have to know where he is, and the fact that this is a much easier play for Josh Donaldson as he is coming in. Watch, you'll see Josh Donaldson in the corner screen. That's an easier play for him. Biagini's turns and throws and doesn't have a lot on that throw, and Elvis easily beats it out. Now Donaldson was kind of preparing himself to do the barehanded play, which is not an easy play by any means, but he is a very good third baseman down there. And sometimes the pitcher forgets where he is, if he's positioned exactly where he is he back, is he up? That's why it's always important to kind of take a look and know where your fielders are, because that was a play that Josh Donaldson most likely should have taken and attempted.
Mazzara had a base hit in the first inning. Takes ball 1. All right, so sort of a silly question. So he doesn't, let's say he just doesn't really realize where his third baseman is, and he's ranging over for that ball, and he realizes one thing, which is probably not going to be able to make this play successfully. Could you just race past it, let it go, and take your chances that while maybe Donaldson wasn't in position or the right spot to get the out, that at the very least he's going to be there to pick it up. And so you just kind of hedge in the bets, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot goes through your mind very quickly in those kinds of situations, but the biggest thing you're thinking of is, I want to get an out, and you always believe you can get the out.
Boy, Andrews takes off, a swing and a miss by Mazzara, and not in time. That is a 10th stolen base for Elvis Andrews. Well, the Rangers off and running today.
Well, they know what the numbers are. We mentioned you could see him leaning right there with a good sized lead, and Russell Martin has had a little bit of an issue throwing this year, we mentioned, but also this is really more about the jump against Biagini, who, as I mentioned earlier, only had 2 stolen bases against him this year. Now it's doubled already here just through a couple of innings against the Rangers.
1-2 on Mazara. Andrews, the franchise record holder in stolen bases. That's number 251 for him. A record that he not only holds, will continue to extend. And another season of double-digit stolen bases as well. Not even a third of the way through the year. Mazara chases strike 3. That one in the dirt, so Martin's going to have to throw him out, but he does, and there are 2 away.
Well, how about this? That Rangers and Rays game at Globe Life Park tomorrow. The first 15,000 fans will get a patriotic Rangers cap, courtesy of Carter Blood Care. Get your Memorial Day tickets at TexasRangers.com, or of course you can call 972-RANGERS.
Well, with 2 gone, here comes Jonathan Lucroy. Rangers have struggled here in Toronto getting those runners in, trailing by a run here. Andrews at second base. Lucroy with that opportunity though, and he takes ball 1. As a group, the Rangers 2 hits and 20 at bats with runners at second and or third base. Had some base runners here early against Biagini. Mazara with a 2-out single in the first. They had him on the corners with 1 out in the second. And Lucroy hits this one up the middle. That's a base hit. Andrews will score easily, and this game tied at 1. So Lucroy comes through. Rangers' 3rd hit with a runner in scoring position in this series.
It was a nice job by Jonathan Lucroy, who we have talked about has done such a great job this year of using all fields, and in this opportunity with the runner in scoring position, nice little ground ball right up the middle. He does a really nice job of getting the Rangers on the board, exactly what they needed. You can see the middle wide open. When you have a guy like Jonathan who hits to all fields and does it well, you cannot shift him. You cannot try to play a tendency and take something away from him, and he takes full advantage.
So now Odor, and he'll shoot it foul. You always know when Rookie's coming up. The fans here on top of it every time. And he got that usual serenade of boos. He dropped down a beautiful bunt last time up.
He could do it again if he wanted to. Look how much room was over there. He actually could go with the harder push bunt. And no way anybody's going to be able to get him. Now you shoot down the line and you try to bunt it hard enough where you force Josh Donaldson to come over and field the ball, and everybody would move up a base. He's even deeper now. I'm playing a deep shortstop now.
On 2 strikes on Odor. He's going to try and drive the ball right here, and the pitch on the way. Little roller, tough play at second, charging in, and a quick flip to first in time, and it does in the inning. But the Rangers knot it up. Jonathan Lucroy's RBI single makes it a 1-1 game.
1-1 between the Rangers and the Blue Jays. And fans, on August 12th, the Rangers and Fox Sports will celebrate the career of Pudge and see the number 7 retired. Special 7-game ticket packages are available, including this memorable night in Arlington. Go to TexasRangers.com/Pudge. Get tickets and witness history. Now, in my defense, it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, you're
I was kind of locked in on that a little bit.
You're fine.
Memorable.
It's going to be memorable.
Dang it.
Devin Travis leading off the 3rd inning. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. This is Memorial Day weekend. And we've shown the uniforms that the Rangers have been wearing this weekend. They're awesome. I love these things.
You know, they do a nice job with these. You know, sometimes when you start to see alternate uniforms, maybe the colors don't flow or they don't quite look exactly right, but these absolutely work. The Rangers guys certainly love them, and those awesome hats as well. As you see the 5 stars right there on Joey Gallo's hat. They also have them on the sleeves. You see the great socks, which is an option. Players are allowed to wear those. The 5 stars, of course, represent the 5 branches of the military. But yes, a very nice job here by Major League Baseball, and good job putting together these uniforms.
I think you make the point, right? Some combinations, uniform combinations, it works better than others. And some just doesn't really work very well at all. But I think these look really good for the Rangers, and they will be auctioned off too for charity. Is this one fouled back by Travis? 2-2. So the league going to donate all royalties from these licensed uniforms to Major League Baseball charities, the charities that support programs for military veterans and their families. So really cool cause as well. Check swing, and it's a full count on Devin Travis. Cashner battling today in his payoff pitch. Yeah, another foul ball. So tomorrow, some special programming. Normally we begin the pregame show about a half an hour before the game. It'll be an hour long tomorrow. Great Jonathan Lucroy feature you'll want to catch. Some tributes as well. A lot of pregame ceremony. It's going to have kind of an opening day feel tomorrow to the broadcast. As a strikeout of Travis is the first out of this 3rd inning.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool feature. Definitely want to make sure you check that out. Jonathan Lucroy and his good buddy John Coker. Those are going to want to definitely make sure you tune in to see that. That's why a little bit of extra time is given. And we saw Jonathan playing, I should say playing, all the maintenance he was doing yesterday, right, with all of his gear that is out there now, and those awesome camouflage shin guards and chest protector.
Soft liner center field, and that one drops in for Chris Coghlan. So the Blue Jays get a man on in this 3rd inning. First base runner since the first hitter of the game, Kevin Pillar, who doubled, and he now comes up.
That's a good first time through the lineup here for Andrew Cashner. Kind of bookended by a couple of base hits, a double by Pillar, and now the base hit here by Chris Coghlan. Does a good job driving that ball to center field, but Andrew's thrown the ball really well here so far, and we talked about all those strikes he has been throwing. About 67% strikes for him so far. It's a huge number, and for him, he's actually been below average this season. We know that he doesn't strike a lot of guys out, and there's some walks in exchange, and the walks are higher than the strikeouts, but he's thrown 58% strikes coming into today, and so far now at 76. So huge improvement for him in that regard, and you see what he has done first time, second time, and third time through the order, and you always expect those numbers to kind of gradually get a little bit higher.
Well, Pillar shows bunt, takes the ball 1-1.
The first time through, though, for the Blue Jays, they went 2 for 8. There was a sac fly in there from Jose Bautista, so it's kind of on par where he has been at a 250 average today, and what was it, 246 that he has done so far this season, first time through.
Coughlin with a small lead over at first, and he'll draw the attention of Castner nonetheless. Sunshine today here in Toronto, roof open. First time this year that the Blue Jays have played with the roof open here at Rogers Center. Ballpark opened in 1989. And a bunt, third base side. Gallo with the charge, and the bare hand takes care of Pilar. 2 away. Coughlin out to second base, however. Real nice play by Gallo. That's the kind of the trademark Adrian Beltre play. The bare hand on the bunt coming in with a dribbler. A great throw over to first.
They did a really nice job, and not only that, but then Jonathan Lucroy hustling down to third base. Elvis Andrews also making his way over there, because a play like that, especially if you have some shifts, there's an opportunity for a base runner to continue to go. Chris Coughlin thought about it, but the Rangers made sure they were there and prevented it from happening.
Now Josh Donaldson, who grounded out in the first inning. It's 0-2. Donaldson, mentioned earlier, the two big pieces that came back for Toronto this weekend. Donaldson had been out the longest. He'd been out since April 13th, but both he and Tulowitzki were activated for Friday's game. Donaldson missed 38 games. Tulowitzki 31 games. And the Blue Jays, I mean, they were off to just a terrible start. In the 38 games, though, that they missed those two guys, Blue Jays went 20-18. They survived it pretty well, and that's a whole lot better than the 6-17 record they had just a week after Tulowitzki went down. Donaldson, who was down a week earlier, this one squirts away from Lucroy. Nobody moving up.
Yeah, pretty difficult when you lose the entire left side of your infield, and especially when you have a couple of big stars there and guys that you're certainly counting on. And then you had Jose Bautista off to the slow start as well, and you start to look at this team a little bit, and you can say, yeah, it made sense that they were struggling there for a little while, missing big pieces, and then another big piece off to a slow start, not contributing, and they put themselves in a little bit of a hole, but they're starting to get healthy now, and they've been playing much better baseball.
Now Donaldson fans to win the third. Couple of strikeouts for Cashner in the third inning.
Andrew Cashner rearing back and blowing the fastball right by Josh Donaldson. here in Toronto. And fans, we are lighting up the night skies with a superhero Friday post-game fireworks show. It's going to be after the Rangers and the Astros game, a fireworks show that is going to be set to superhero themed music. Tickets are available at texasrangers.com.
Nicely done. Fourth inning, here we go. Mike Napoli 0 for 1. And he takes a strike from Joe Biagini. Napoli, Joey Gallo, and Ryan Rua in this fifth inning. 1-1 game. Blue Jays got their run in the first. Rangers got their run in the third. There's that big curveball again. It's 1-1.
And we've seen a little bit of a different approach here for Joe Biagini compared to what he has done through his first 4 starts and really what he's done the entire season. There have been a lot more changeups thrown. Now, it has a lot to do with the 5 lefties that are in the lineup as well today, but it's been curveball and changeup really over that cutter that he throws. We saw a first pitch cutter there to Mike Napoli. The changeup is feeling good and it's looked good, understandably so. And even the fastball usage down a little bit.
Now the 1-2. Brought that one back in and takes care of Napoli to start the fourth.
And that was it right there. How about a backdoor change? We didn't see that too often.
So it's coming up. In fact, June 15th, the greatest players in the world in one of golf's most anticipated events of the year. Dustin Johnson trying to defend his title at the U.S. Open this year. Coverage begins June 15th. Fox, Fox Sports 1, and then streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Joey Gallo hammers this ball out to left field. Coughlin is back, and that is gone. A line drive home run by Joey Gallo. It goes the opposite way, and he puts the Rangers in front 2-1.
This ball was absolutely smoked on a line from Joey Gallo. You know, when he connects, he can hit them with the best of them for power. This ball just kept going. This was a line drive. You kind of expected maybe it would come down. They were trying to go in. That ball ended up finishing out over the plate, well out over the plate. And a fastball, and you do not want Joey Gallo to get his arms extended, but an absolute missile off the bat, Joey Gallo.
Number 15 for Gallo puts him in a tie for second place now in the American League. And bigger still, of course, the lead today for the Rangers. That one got a piece of Hunter Wintelstad, our home plate umpire, and also Martin. Trying to make sure he's all right.
Ooh, looked like it got him right in the left bicep. No protection there for Hunter Wintelstad. Yeah, that looked like it might have stung a little bit.
Those umpires are pretty tough too. He says, I'm fine, let's go. He's not, but we will.
Let's shake it off. There you go. Just shake it out.
So 1 out, a run in. Rua in a hole 0-1. Biagini. Curveball. So Biagini made a spot start or an emergency start earlier in the month as they were ravaged by some injuries to their rotation here. Jay Happ, Aaron Sanchez, Marcus Stroman left to start early, and they looked to Biagini to help him out as a starting pitcher, and he has done a nice job. Stayed in there now. This is 5th start for Toronto. Prior to making that start earlier in the month, you had to go back to 2015 when he was at Double-A as a starting pitcher. So relearning an old trade. Bouncer left side of the infield. Donaldson is there and takes care of Rua, 2 away.
Here's Joey Gallo again, and that beautiful slow motion here on a fastball that was supposed to be in, and finishes away. And you see the head down, chin on the left shoulder. Heard a lot of talk about that from a handful of these Rangers hitters. That's a thing of beauty right there. That ball was absolutely smoked. 110 miles an hour there for Joey Gallo.
Just enough to get over the wall. I mean, it was hit hard. It would keep traveling for quite a long way. The only question was, would it have enough to get over the top of the wall? And it did, but barely. Now Hoying, who's 0 for 1. And he hits this ball hard up the middle. That's a base hit for Hoying. So the inning continues.
Good swing there from Jared Hoying, but you're right. That was a loud ground ball coming off the bat. Smoked up the middle.
Base runner for Shin-Soo Choo.
No, and you brought it up too. The Rangers leading here now 2-1 in the top of the 4th inning. But you were talking about Joe Biagini, getting inserted into that rotation. They ran him through spring training with the possibility of him making starts this year for the Blue Jays. Even though that rotation looked like it was set up, he made a couple of starts of the 9 games that he pitched in. But then, of course, you always have those kind of piggyback situations where you stretch it out a little bit. Ultimately, they decided to have him start in the bullpen. But the idea of having him in the rotation at some point was on their mind all the way back in spring training.
He's up and out that time to Choo. 2-0. Well, he's done a pretty nice job for him so far. They continue to try and stretch him out. That first start, he threw 52 pitches. Got up into the high 60s his next 2 starts. Last time out, threw 77 pitches. But it's gone 5 innings just once so far.
When you go through this too, when you look at relievers and you try to identify maybe who could you pull back out of the bullpen and start again, repertoire has a lot to do with it. And you've seen it here from Joe Biagini, and we have talked about it. The fact that he has 3 off-speed pitches, curveball, changeup, and cutter that he uses regularly and is confident in to go along with the fastball, it gives you the confidence that maybe he could start.
Hoying running on the pitch. We'll have to return to first base. 2-2 now, Choo. Choo struck out in the first inning, and he bounced out in the 3rd. A little bit of a breeze starting up here. Biagini's 2-2. We'll see another.
I think the other thing it's not unusual, but you look at Biagini, he wasn't a long man either for them. And he wasn't last year. He took on a pretty significant role after being a Rule 5 pick from the San Francisco Giants. 60 games, 67 innings. So he wasn't in necessarily that long stretch out role, and he did a really nice job for them last year. And even this year, he was not necessarily in that role where it was a longer role in the pen.
Again, Hoying running. Again, Choo spoils the pitch. Seen a couple of lengthy at-bats against Biagini today. Choo definitely making him work right here. Gallo homered earlier in the inning. Hoying is on at first. Rangers have already stolen 2 bases. This time he's not going, and that is strike 3 call. So a strikeout of Choo ends the 4th. Rangers lead it by 1.
But it's Joey Gallo here in this 4th inning, taking a fastball up and away and hitting a missile line drive just out here at the Rogers Center. Rangers lead 2-1.
10,000 fans. We got a Cole Hamels superhero bobblehead, courtesy of Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches. Tickets available, TexasRangers.com. Don't forget, by the way, wear your Rangers red. We're going to red out the ballpark now weekend against the Astros. There's your superhero right there.
Too many good pitchers right there on the DL right now.
Yeah.
You got to look at A.J. Griffin and Cole Hamels. Certainly will be good to get both of those guys back sooner than later. Cole obviously still a few weeks away. We'll see what happens with A.J., who left the game here in the first inning with, or two. Was the game two? What game? No, was it
second inning of Friday's game.
Yeah, first game here with that intercostal strain. He needed to look right almost nearly from the beginning. He said it happened on one pitch, but you kind of wonder how he was feeling even leading up to that.
2-1 to Bautista, and that one is in. Jose Bautista, sac fly in the first inning, and that has been the only Blue Jays run so far. He had the big 3-run homer yesterday in the 3-1 Blue Jays victory. Cashner's been pretty sharp so far, and he walks Bautista to open the fourth. Well, on a daily basis, a lot of medical updates around this Rangers team. Let's check in with the TV doctor, John Radigan.
Yeah, the doctor of doctors. Adrian Beltre's feeling better, guys. He was 3 for 7 yesterday with a double in his rehab stint, if you will, in extended spring. 7 for 17. Now he is back in Texas right now. He's going to be reevaluated tomorrow. It's likely that he will play, but Jeff Bannister says he can't make that decision for sure until he himself talks to them and the medical staff there does. But Adrian Beltre did everything you could want and could ask for in that extended spring rehab assignment, guys. Feeling better, maybe back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the excitement right now, is could he possibly be activated tomorrow? We'll see. Talked about a holiday, Memorial Day tomorrow. That would certainly be a huge holiday boost. As Kendrys Morales 0 for 1 steps in.
It'll be a big boost, obviously, for the Rangers, and I got to believe also for some of those extended spring training pitchers. Wouldn't mind seeing Adrian Beltre get out of Arizona. Just beating up on those poor kids.
2 balls and a strike on Morales. Now fans into it here again this afternoon. They've had sellout or near sellout crowds in every game now. Had almost 47,000 here yesterday. Have about 45,000 today. Bautista with a lead at first. And it's 3-1.
This is kind of an ideal spot here, and even though Andrew Cashner is behind the count, 3-1. He's done a good job of getting those ground ball double plays. 9 this year ties him for 6th in Major League Baseball. You think about Morales, not necessarily a great runner, and when Cashner has that good 2-seam fastball going, it's a lot of ground balls.
And he puts Morales on back-to-back walks to start this 4th inning. We're talking about the potential of getting Adrian Beltre back as early as even tomorrow. Well, look, we know what it means in the dugout, in the clubhouse. You're talking about a 4-time All-Star, all the Gold Gloves. A lot of stuff he does on the field, too.
And that stuff matters more, without a doubt. And having Adrian Beltre in this lineup changes it dramatically. It balances it out, not just from a lefty-righty standpoint. There are a lot of lefties in there today, but the kind of hitter that he is as well, right? He's more of a contact hitter, not nearly as much swing and miss necessarily as you see, or at least also bringing some batting average to it as well, which has been a little bit of an issue. I mean, all the way around, there's no doubt about it that having him back in this lineup is huge for these guys, and they're getting anxious to have him back. There's been a lot of conversation about, well, what about, you know, even when he's just hanging around and being around the clubhouse. It's no doubt it's nice to have, it matters, but at the same time, these guys are big leaguers, right? So Adrian Beltre is not here. You still expect that you can win baseball games, go on streaks like we've seen them do, handle adversity, even though your captain and the guy that you look to the most to lead the team is not always going to be there and hasn't been this year.
2 men aboard for Smoke, and he hits this ball in the air left field. Coming on for it, Rua. And there is one away. Yeah, a lot has been made lately about the absence of Beltre. Beltre was with the team when we were in Detroit. Rangers took 2 of 3. He was with the team on that homestand when they swept through it, winning all 8 games. And he was not with the team on that previous road trip when the Rangers really struggled. He has not been with the team in Boston or here in Toronto. So a lot of people making that observation and saying, well, does that mean that his presence is worth that much in the dugout? And I think to your point, I mean, it's worth a lot. I mean, it's certainly a big deal, but Jeff Bannister has answered that question a number of times this week, and his answer comes back to what basically you're saying, which is, look, these guys are pros. It's a little demeaning to say that they would need somebody there to stay on top of their game. A line drive to second, and Odor doubles off Jose Bautista, and that ends the 4th inning. So a couple of walks, but Castro gets out of it, and we go to the 5th.
By their team right now, and would no doubt be excited, all of them, to see Adrian Beltre back in the lineup as we welcome you back to Toronto and get to our State Farm winning combination. Jonathan Lucroy told me yesterday the winning combination for Adrian Beltre is definitely him on the field, but him in the dugout is special. He can say a word, Luke says. Anything that he says resonates more than the other veterans, and in his absence, Jonathan says the other veterans have tried to say some of the same things that Adrian says. It's just that when Adrian says them, they mean more. Jonathan remembers when he was a 22 or 23-year-old player, and he had a guy that sort of mentored him like that. He says Adrian reminds him a lot of Trevor Hoffman, another future Hall of Famer, guys.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And it is funny how sometimes there can be veteran guys who their voice doesn't quite resonate the same way in a clubhouse.
Well, the respect factor is so high, obviously, with Adrian Beltre, and he's been there and he's done that, and he's been through a ton, and this game is really hard, and this game will beat you up. It'll beat you up as an individual, as a team. You're going to go through lots of highs, lots of lows, and getting through those lows can be a grind, and it's comforting knowing you hear from a guy who's been through it.
Bouncer third base, Donaldson retires Andrews, one away. Bring up Nomar Mazara.
And I'll tell you this too, if you're struggling, whether it be offensively, the team's having a hard time, let's say scoring runs, but he's in that lineup, and you know he's putting good at bats together against tough pitchers too. That encourages guys. It's also leading by example on the field and producing and knowing, hey, if anybody can get this guy, you know, whatever's going on, we know that AB could be the one. Adrian Beltre, that matters as well. There's something about having those guys around, healthy, contributing, that kind of lifts up the rest of the team, whether it's what they're saying or what they're doing.
One out here in the 5th. Mazzaro 1 for 2. He takes a strike. I think we enjoyed a delightful dinner last night, the entire TV crew. And I think I asked you this question, but I don't remember getting an answer.
No, you're a good listener.
Best teammate?
Oh, I didn't answer it.
I thought you might have waffled on that one.
Because it's hard, because there's certain guys that you play with just for a little while that were really good teammates, but maybe you didn't develop that personal bond as much. I was moving around so much over the course of my career. There's guys you get locked in with that are just fun to be around, right? There's teammates that are just like, man, I love hanging out with this dude. Is he helping me become a better player? I don't know, but he's awesome. I love hanging out with him, right? You get those guys. There's lots of them. And then you get the guys that you feel like you can really look up to, while you're playing with them, and they have a lot of good advice to offer, whatever it may be. I mean, that list for me is really long as far as really good teammates. But Doug Brocail for me is one of those guys. I played with Broke for 2 years in Detroit, and he's a good teammate, man. And lots of good conversations in the bullpen and on the road when you're out. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's that same kind of guy now with these pitchers.
Mazzaro strikes out looking, 2 away.
There's a lot of good guys in this game. It's not automatic. You said sometimes there's certain voices that don't carry in a clubhouse for whatever reason, doesn't necessarily ring the same. It's coming from certain guys, and then some guys just aren't built to do it. I've been around some veterans that just, for whatever reason, it's not their thing. It doesn't make them bad guys. They're just not natural born leaders, or when they say something, it just doesn't have that that same kind of feel when maybe an Adrian Beltre or another guy maybe says something. I'd put maybe one of the greatest leaders I'd ever been around with maybe Barry Larkin. Play with him my rookie year, and to watch him operate with both the pitchers and the hitters was a pretty impressive thing.
Jonathan Lucroy 1 for 2. The RBI single in the 3rd inning that tied the game. Rangers have since taken the lead on the Joey Gallo home run last inning. Top of the 5th, and Joe Biagini crossing that 75 pitch plateau with that offering right there. It's 0-2. Lucroy, the cleanup hitter today. And again, should Adrian Beltre be activated soon, you figure he slots right in the middle of this order and will displace somebody like Lucroy to a slightly different spot in the order, which is it's actually a good thing. There's a line drive out to right field, base hit for Lucroy. He's got 2 of them today. He continues to swing a hot bat, and he is on for guess who?
You can't figure it out. This is a 3rd good at bat by Jonathan Lucroy. The first time he lined out to right field but hit the ball hard. Second one, of course, was that RBI single up the middle, and now in this situation, a line drive to right field, and he continues to get it done and put together quality at bats. You were talking about Biagini earlier. Now he has tied his season high as far as pitch count at 77. He's only gone 5 innings once, and there's nobody up right now in the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how far they do extend him. He is pitching well. He's allowed just the 2 runs, but on 7 hits. Rangers have made some pretty decent contact against Biagini. Gore bunted his way on in the 2nd inning. He's in a hole here, 0-2. Now, Rudy's had some moments against the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's delivered some blows in this series. Big 3-run homer Friday night in the 9th inning. The 0-2 pitch, and this ball hit well out to center field. Pilar going back in the shadows, and he'll put it away. So the inning is done. Lucroy left out there. We're halfway to the house this afternoon, 2-1.
beating the Blue Jays by a score of 2-1. And this Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Homes for Our Troops, building mortgage-free, specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is enabling our veterans to rebuild their lives and visit foxsportsupports.com. Almost.
2-1, Rangers leading. Bottom third of the order for Toronto. Due up this inning against Andrew Cashner. He races that one inside on Tulowitzki. Troy Tulowitzki, Devin Travis, and Chris Coghlan. And it's 1-1. I was talking to John Gibbons, the manager here in Toronto, earlier this morning about the journey that they took this year without Tulowitzki and Donaldson. And you know, he was awfully pleased with the fact that they went to whatever it was, 20-18 during that 38-game stretch. Of course, more relieved to have these guys back. And he told me too, he said, you know, that start of the year, that 8-17 or 6-17 start, he's never gone through anything like that before. So I've never been in a spot that was anything like that. It was horrible. They just couldn't seem to get things right. And he said, you know, there are games that you felt like, you know, you could win, you should win, but for some reason you just wouldn't. You know, something would happen. And but he pointed out, he's like, you know, that it happens. Good teams do it, bad teams do it. You know, the difference is, you know, you got to figure out a way to kind of turn that around at some point, which they seem to have done here. Then you made the point this weekend. The question is whether or not they have time. Actually, it appears that they do. This ball hit well out toward right field. Not going to carry though. Mazzara will make the catch.
I think the big part of that is getting their rotation healthy as well. I mean, talking about Happ, Sanchez, Liriano, guys that are on the DL right now, has been a pretty big issue. So that's going to be a big part of it. Sanchez has dealt with that weird middle finger issue. Has been an issue. It's an elbow for Happ, shoulder for Liriano. So if they're going to make that run, I think having that rotation back intact and what they expected it to be, because on paper before the season started, looked like a pretty good rotation and one that was going to be tough for a lot of these American League opponents, but not having that together the entire time. I know the Rangers are dealing with the same thing right now. We just showed AJ Griffin and Cole Hamels, and it's not fun when you're missing big pieces out of your rotation. It's just really difficult to win in this league.
Another first pitch strike, this time to Devin Travis. One just off the plate, 1-1. Cashner's done a really good job. Of the 17 hitters he has faced now, he's gotten a first pitch strike into 14 of them. A little better than 82%. One out, nobody on, fifth inning. And this ball hit out to left field, drops in. That's a base hit. Nice snag out there by Rua. Saves at least one base. And Travis with the single. We will take a Chevy game break and send it back once again to Rick Renner. Rick Renner dropping the gavel on it. How about it? All right. Thanks, Rick. Coghlan steps in, and he takes ball one. So just to make the point, Castro misses on the first pitch to Coghlan, who had the base hit in the third inning. Only 3 hits so far today against Cashner. It was the double by Pilar in the first inning. Coghlan's base hit in the third, and now just a moment ago, Devin Travis. Travis with decent speed, but takes a small lead, and the pitch, a strike, and it's 1-2 on Coghlan.
People forget 2009. Chris Coghlan was a Rookie of the Year with the then Florida Marlins, now Miami Marlins. And just, you always look and see, you know, what happens afterwards. And so he had 565 plate appearances that year. He's never gotten that or anything close to that. Again, he had 500 last year with the Cubs. That's the most that he had since that year.
This one squirts away, and Travis scampers over to second base. Gathering a wild pitch.
You see here, and just kind of good secondary lead and reading the ball. We talked about good base runners not getting lazy over there, and you see this changeup down in the dirt, and Jonathan Lucroy does everything he possibly can, stays squared up. As his chest leaned over, the ball just kicked right on him. Nothing he could do. But that's good heads up by Devin Travis, who took off as soon as he saw that ball hit the ground.
Coghlan hits the next one on the ground. Slow roller. Andrews has a little bobble. Hustles the throw, and it's in time. And they get Coghlan 2 away. Travis stops at third.
This ball looked like it hopped up a little bit on Elvis Andrus, but he made a nice recovery and showed off the arm, and you see him shaking his head there a little bit. Maybe a little bit of frustration, but watch as this ball hops up a little bit. Doesn't quite get it clean, but recovers very nicely. Has an opportunity to show off the arm. Great recovery by Elvis.
So now with Travis at third base, representing the potential tying run, top of the order for Kevin Pillar. He is doubled. And then laid down a really nice bunt in the third inning. Average at 292 for Pillar. Cashner just now approaching the 70 pitch mark. He'll get it with his next offering to Pillar. So he has done a really good job of conserving pitches to this point. Interesting last inning when the first 2 walked, and then he got 3 outs on what, 3 pitches, right?
All of a sudden the the Blue Jays hitters got very aggressive, even though they saw Andrew Cashner struggling in the strike zone a little bit after walking Batista, walking Morales. Justin Smoke swung at the second pitch and flew out, and then Russell Martin, and he hit it hard, but swung at the first pitch, and it turned into a line out to Odor, and he was able to step on the bag and double up Batista. And so very quickly Andrew Cashner got himself out of trouble last inning.
Pillar bounces this one to short. Nice high hop for Andrus. Pulls Napoli off the bag, but he tags out Pillar to end the inning. Blue Jays leave another man. We go to the 6th in a 1-run game. Sonic Slam inning brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot today, $600 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Linda Phipps of Denison is our contestant, looking for a Rangers home run. That would win her $600. Maybe eyeing the grand slam this inning, though, because that would win her $25,000.
Nothing wrong with getting a little bit greedy.
Right.
Going for the 25K.
Go for it, Linda. Mike Napoli will start it off in the 6th inning. 2-1, Rangers on top. It's the final game in this 3-game series against the Blue Jays. Rangers headed home afterward to begin a homestand tomorrow evening against the Tampa Bay Rays. Biagini out for a 6th inning. First time this year that he has witnessed the 6th inning. He's also over 80 pitches for the first time this year. He's got Napoli to fly out to center, and he struck him out looking his last time in.
Yeah, I think if you're John Gibbons, you kind of get caught in between just a little bit of saying, okay, well, we want to get him stretched out, which also obviously want to keep this game really close as well. And they're thinking big picture, he's throwing the ball well. Do they want to keep him in the rotation? So try to extend that pitch count and continue to build him up. I'm sure they'd be thrilled to see him get into the 90s and even beyond and get through 6 innings.
Napoli takes a moment. We talked about Napoli in the open of our broadcast today because he's had a nice road trip, especially when it comes to run production, home runs. It's this ball on the ground, though, left side, knocked down by Donaldson, but in doing so prevents Tulowitzki, who's backing him up, from making the play.
Let's see what happens here. We're going to take a look real quick at the Joey Gallo home run earlier in the game back in the 4th inning, and this was an absolute missile, trying to go in, miss away. Took that ball just 4.1 seconds to leave the yard at 110 miles an hour. It was a rope from Joey Gallo, and you get a ruling on that, hit or error?
That was an error. E5 on Donaldson.
I think Donaldson expected himself to field that one cleanly and make a play on Mike Napoli, and that's probably why they gave that an error. Scorekeeper agrees.
Well, here's Gallo, and he takes a strike. Donaldson now on the infield, playing over the right side between the 1st and 2nd baseman, Smoke and Travis. You see the home run did for Gallo. He's one back off the American League lead now. It's 0-2.
Joe Biagini was really frustrated, even though he got a swing and miss on that pitch. He kind of reacted after he threw it because he missed his spot again and missed near that spot where Joey Gallo hit the home run out back in the 4th inning. And so right away he said, let me just get rid of this ball. Maybe it's the ball's fault.
Yeah,
and he
got to be.
Threw it out, didn't like the way it felt, didn't like where that last pitch went.
Gallo chases strike 3. The changeup gets him 1 away in the 6th inning. Some activity for the Blue Jays. Dominic Leone, right-hander, loosening up, so we'll be running out of time for Biagini. 2-1 ball game. He has certainly acquitted himself quite well today. Here's Rua. He takes a strike. Biagini was drafted by the Giants, 26th round selection back in 2011. His dad had played in the Giants system. Comes in another strike. And for him, it was kind of a surreal moment because he wasn't real sure that he'd be the type of guy to even get drafted, coming out of UC Davis. Grew up in the Bay Area in San Francisco. His dad watched over him closely, gave him all the instruction growing up as a kid. As the breaking ball bounces away from Martin, and Lucroy pardon me, Napoli goes to second base. And that will be a wild pitch.
Take a look at this breaking ball that was down in the dirt. Russell Martin did not get all the way down. We talked about Jonathan Lucroy in those situations. That pitch is down, usually knees drop and you slide over, but Russell Martin unable to get down in time.
So Napoli in scoring position now. Rua strikes out swinging, however, 2 away.
This is a really slow curveball here from Biagini, and you see the break in there. Not quite A.J. Griffin slow, but it's big break and big differential in velocity, and he's used that pitch very well today against the Rangers. And you can start to tell when you look at the pitch breakdown and what he has done today that it has been about throwing more curveballs to these Rangers hitters. That is now 25% of his pitches that have been the curveball.
7 strikeouts for Biagini. And now Jared Hoying, who is 1 for 2.
And as much as we go through those arsenals and we show them, it will change, and sometimes will change dramatically based on the lineup. We saw that last year in the postseason when the Cleveland Indians came here to face the Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of breaking balls to the Blue Jays hitters, and Biagini now doing that today to these Rangers hitters. Only 38% fastballs. I mean, that is a really, really low number when you start thinking about pitch repertoire for a starting pitcher. We said he came in using that fastball 54% of the time, but he's gone away from the fastball and has thrown much more breaking balls. And even though he's losing here 2-1, he's done a pretty decent job here, especially when you start to look at the strikeouts.
And this is with that fastball. 2 balls and a strike to Hoying. Jared shoots this one out to center field. Pilar again was shallow, but he gets back nicely, makes the play, and the inning is over. Napoli left at second base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rangers still lead by 1. Yesterday, you might remember this, early in the ball game, John Gibbons went out to talk to plate umpire Country Joe West. And they looked like buddies. We thought, what are they talking about? Gibbons said that he offered him tickets to see his daughter, Jordan, who's playing today here at the ballpark. Her band, Southtown, from San Antonio. Here's a big part of this Country Day.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So he offered him tickets. It was in the 2nd inning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That meeting happened?
Yep.
Shady. shady stuff from John Gibbons. I like the play, but since he's wearing that Blue Jays uniform, we're going to have to question it a little bit.
Yeah, his daughter Jordan Gibbons of Southtown. Pretty good little cover band, and they played the Horseshoe last night here in Toronto.
How cool is that, though, for John Gibbons to look up? And we saw him earlier today because they did a whole pregame concert as well. They just played a song live in between innings, but to look up from the dugout and to see your daughter out in center field, they got him set up in the restaurant out there. The whole band, Southtown. That's got to be pretty cool, man.
I asked him today. I said, "So kind of a fun day today, this Country Day stuff." He said, "Yeah, you know, my daughter's playing. It's like she's got some connection or something here in the organization."
Take advantage of them.
Absolutely. 2-2. Josh Donaldson as Andrew Kashner continues to toil in this 6th inning, working with a 1-run lead. Gave up the run in the first, double and a sac fly. Has been very stingy. Has allowed just 2 hits since that first inning. Look out. Low bridge for Donaldson.
Well, interesting, too. You see Josh Donaldson wearing that face guard now, and so he had just talked about this. He got hit. It was a changeup last August, but he got hit with it. When he came off the DL, he's starting to now wear that face guard. And he had said the reason was, he's like, listen, these guys are throwing hard, and they like to work me up and in. And he just felt more comfortable that he wanted to protect his face and go to the face guard.
Offers it the 3-2. Little tapper in front of the plate. Lou Croy, plenty of time. 1 away. All right, time for our 4-game summary. Joey Gallo, the big home run in the 4th inning, broke the 1-1 tie. He's had a nice day at the plate. Andrew Kashner continues to throw the ball real well. You've talked a lot about getting ground ball outs and doing it again today.
He's done a really nice job. And what would be good to see, too, I think, obviously a win is really important here for the Rangers, getting past and putting behind this losing streak, moving on from that. But also the good outing here right now from Andrew Kashner, who's done an excellent job up to this point. Pitch count is very manageable. It would be nice to see a game, we haven't seen this in a while, where the Rangers can use their bullpen in the order in which they would like to have it set up, right? Close games when you're winning, where you can go set up men to closer, that kind of deal. Maybe you have to use somebody to help Andrew Kashner finish an inning, but if he could get through 6 or even 7, you just go 1 setup man and then right to Matt Bush. It's been a while since we've seen that, so that'd be a nice benefit here for the Rangers and their pitching staff.
This one lined out toward right field and drops in at the base of the fence. Batista with maybe the longest single we have seen in this ballpark in this series. Ball well struck, but also well played off the wall by Mazzara.
Yeah, perfectly played here. We'll see this pitch ends up being just up over the plate, and Jose Batista drives it pretty well to right field, but Nomar plays it perfectly as it hits the wall, 2 hops off. Well, watch this perfect strike to your cutoff man in Rougned Odor. Excellent job by Nomar to make sure you get that in. And also, of course, the important part of that is keeping the double play intact. And I mentioned it earlier in the same exact situation where Jose Batista was on first and Kendrys Morales was up. This is a nice combination here to try to get that ground ball and get out of an inning with 1 pitch.
Morales walked his last time up. 9 double plays. He has bounced into 3rd most in the American League. Play him to pull on the infield. Gallo way over at the shortstop position.
Morales has hit in tonight, so
right.
Perfect time for them to go right 1 each. 9 for Kashner, 9 for Morales. Let's make it 10 for everybody.
Small lead for Batista, who has been on twice today, also had the sac fly, so it's been a good day for Batista at the plate. Been a good series for him, and now it's 2-1 to Morales.
That was the pitch right there. Really good 2-seam fastball located down and away. That is the go-to when you're trying to get that double play. We've seen them work Morales in a little bit, though. We'll see where Jonathan wants to go here. You see him set up to go back inside.
Bouncer up the middle. Andrews has it, gives it to Gallo. Reverse spin and the throw to first for the double play. Wow, dipsy-do. Your 6-5-3 twin killing as ordered, and it takes us to the 7th.
Well, you don't see it too often, but a hard ground ball up the middle. Elvis Andrews just positioned right there. Joey Gallo says, I can be a shortstop too. Check out this spin and the perfect throw. Out of this jam. First, it was the really good 2-0 two-seam fastball right on the corner away, and then Jonathan Lucroy wanted that little cutter. And watch Andrew Casher, who does a really nice job of getting out of the way. That's a big part of this, but also the Rangers aligning these guys perfectly, and Joey Gallo coming across. I don't know if that's a double play that you can even practice in spring training. We know these guys are in all different positions now because of the shifts and how they work this stuff, and certain guys are in certain spots, but I'm not sure the Rangers have ever practiced Elvis Andrews behind second base with Joey Gallo coming across and taking a throw straight from that angle, and it was a great spin by Joey and a big double play.
Now, wild play as we now go to the 7th inning. Dominic Leone in his 20th appearance. First that we have seen of Leone in this series. He jumps ahead of Chu, 0-2.
I think that's certainly, if you're looking for a positive in the 2 losses so far here for the Rangers, is that they have seen the top end bullpen arms in both of those games from the Blue Jays, and there's another close game here. Maybe they'll start to see some of the secondary guys and have a chance maybe to break through, add some runs late.
They could use an extra run or two here. Leading by a run. This might be one of their better spots of the afternoon. Biagini, nice job today. 6 strong for the Blue Jays. Gave up a couple of runs on 7 hits. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for Biagini. And now it's up to the bullpen. First man up, Leone. And a little tapper back toward the mound, third base side, and he can field his position 1 away.
Fans, on Sunday, June 4th, the Rangers and the Astros will be playing a baseball game, but the first 7,500 kids 13 and under will take home an Adrian Beltre replica Gold Glove. That's courtesy of Powerade Zero. And don't forget, that's going to be a red out the ballpark game, so you got to make sure you wear your Rangers red. Tickets available, of course, at TexasRangers.com.
One away. And here's Andrews, who has singled and scored in the ball game today.
So first pitch cutter there to Elvis, and for Leone does that a lot. 43% of the time throwing cutters. That is a heavy usage on the cut fastball.
0-2 the count. Little correction, by the way. Biagini's 7 strikeouts today. I think I said 6 a moment ago. 7 strikeouts for him. In any case, he really battled nicely today for Toronto. Andrew Cashner has pitched even better through 6 innings and very efficiently. Ball 1 to Andrews. Cashner picked up his first win as a Ranger about a week and a half ago. Had a tough start on this road trip and good bounce back effort so far today. He's been a real nice addition to this rotation. Of course, the man on the right of your screen there, Cole Hamels, currently on the disabled list. We'll get Hamels back at some point, let's say around July. Add him into the mix. Things could get good again pretty quickly. A little bloop out to left field. That one drops in for Andrews. Big swing, but ends up being kind of a Texas leaguer, and he has 2 hits today.
Sounded like he may have broke his bat on that one. Didn't have much carry to it at all. We'll take a peek here. Caught it off the end. Didn't sound particularly great, but you'll take a base hit anyway that you can get it. Yeah, that sounded like it cracked. You see Chris Coghlan actually expecting a little bit of a higher bounce on that ball. Bounced twice, but Elvis is in there now with a single, and see if the Rangers can add on here. Certainly Andrew Cashner wouldn't mind a little bit more run support, although he is used to that. They finally broke through in his last one, and then unfortunately for him, he had an off game, really the only off game that we have seen from him, where he ended up allowing 5 runs. But it has been pretty steady where there have not been a lot of runs scored for Andrew Cashner. How about this? His first 3 games, 0 runs of support when he was actually in the game. Then it went 2-3-1. Then there was the big one where he got 9. And his last game just 3.
Mazara 1 for 3 today. Had the base hit in the first inning. Struck out the last 2 times up. Well, we had quite the ball game here Friday night. First time these teams have gotten together in 2017 after their postseason battle last year that concluded here in Toronto. And it ended up being a 1-run game on Friday. Rougned Odor homering in the 9th inning to get the Rangers to within a run, but they couldn't quite get all the way back. Then yesterday, a well-pitched game, 3-1. Blue Jays won it. Mazara hammers this ball out to left field. On the run for it, Coghlan, and he won't get to it. This one bounces up over the wall and will be an automatic double for Mazara. Now with Andrus' speed, he would have scored easily had that one stayed in the ballpark, but instead now it's 2nd and 3rd, 1 out.
And that's kind of one of the unfortunate sides of artificial turf. Now you see them trying to go down and in, and the ball finishes out over the plate. And we've seen this from Mazara really most of this season, where he's driving the ball well the other way when he gets that pitch out over the plate the way that he did. And Elvis knew that that ball was going to bounce over. You know, listen, the turf gives, the turf takes away, right? Ground balls are going to get through quicker. You're going to pick up a couple of extra base hits, but there are going to be times where that ball is going to take a big bounce and bounce over the wall, whether it's over the outfield ball or sometimes off to the side, and cost you an opportunity for either an extra base or an RBI. And that's what happened to Nomar there.
Now the entire infield way in with only 1 out in the inning, and Lucroy takes ball 1. The Rangers 1 for 6 today with runners in scoring position, but it was Lucroy who delivered that hit in the 3rd inning. Drove in Andrews for the first Rangers run today. This one gets away. Martin will go to the backstop with the baseball, and Andrews scores easily. It's a 3-1 Rangers lead. Well, there was like no doubt once that got away that Andrews was going to score. Mazara gets to 3rd.
Yep, good heads up base running as you see Russell Martin try to backhand that ball, and does everything he can at that point. But there was no way. After that ball rolled that far back, I want to take a look at this, maybe potentially from the other angle, because I mentioned before where he did not get down earlier. He doesn't get down again. I mean, now it's a borderline pitch on whether or not it's going to be in the dirt or not. And it really was close. Russell Martin just flat out missed that.
I agree with you. It goes as a wild pitch.
It wasn't like he missed his spot really bad and he bounced it way in front of the catcher. That's a ball, and Russell Martin will tell you, that's a ball he's got to catch. But we've seen him, I don't know if something's going on with him, but he seems to be sitting a little bit high, if you notice, and not dropping down low. Now, when you have that borderline pitch, you're not necessarily going to go into blocking mode, but he didn't get down earlier, and then that one he just flat out whiffed.
Field stays in tight. 2-1 to LaCroix, and a pop-up into center field. Pilar coming on, so is Batista. Batista makes the catch, and Mazzara bluffs off third base, not going anywhere. 2 away. So Odor 1 for 3. Fans aren't sustaining the boos quite as long as they were earlier in the series.
I mean, it's hard to boo on such a beautiful day in Toronto. And I know Ranger fans don't want me to hear this. There's some really nice people up here. I enjoy coming to Toronto. It's a good group of people, baseball fans throughout the city. So they do it out of obligation, but it's 3 days. It's all right. We'll give you a little bit, but let's just enjoy the game.
Gosh, it's gotten pretty crazy here in the postseason the last couple of years.
It has, and like anything else, when you see at a sporting event where there's always a couple of bad apples that kind of ruin it for everybody, and then people start saying things about the fan base. As we saw it got a little nuts here, but it's usually just a couple of knuckleheads that reflect badly on everybody else, and I don't think that's really the case here in Toronto.
Odor hammers that ball, but foul into the upper deck. Look out up there.
Not only in the upper deck, boy. I mean, that's 15 feet into the 500 level here. I mean, 15 rows up in the 500 level here in Toronto. It's section 512 where this ball ended up, and you throw up and in, and Rugi smacked it. But we've seen it a bunch this year from some of our lefty power hitters, right? And Joey Gallo and Rugi Odor hitting some balls in places people were not expecting.
A pop foul this time on the third base side, and Russell Martin makes the play. It ends the inning, but the Rangers do add a key insurance run. They'll stand and stretch. We go to the bottom of the 7th in this beautiful city up north. 3-1 Rangers. 3-1 on getaway day in Toronto. Heading home for tomorrow. Opening game of a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Corey Dickerson swinging the bat real well for the Rays. And Nomar Mazara, who hits so well at home. Our AT&T matchup tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Andrew Cashner pitching really well this afternoon and starts Smoke with strike one.
You see the pitch count at 85 and a little bit of action all of a sudden now in the Ranger bullpen, and so you got to believe that Jeff Bannister would love to get Andrew Cashner through this last inning, but I think if there's any trouble at all, probably look to get into that pen.
86 pitches now. He's kept it well in check. That's 1-2. Double barrel action. Claudio, Tony Barnett.
You know, this is that kind of inning too, and you think about how a bullpen is set up, and I mentioned to be able to run it perfectly the way that you want to, of course, requires your starters giving you the innings. But Tony Barnett and now Claudio have been really good middle of innings, right, with runners on base coming in and putting out some fires.
Slow roller left side. Gallo is there, takes care of Smoke, one away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to Rick Renner.
I'll just take your word for it. Astro.
All right, thanks, Rick. Russell Martin. And he swings and misses. How about this? Martin had seen 2 pitches in his first 2 plate appearances today. It accounted for 3 outs. And that's after yesterday where he saw 24 pitches in 4 at-bats. And he hits this ball up the middle. Base hit for Martin. Blue Jays have a big base runner. Brings up the potential tying run.
So I mentioned talking about the bullpen and setting it up the way that you want it to in an ideal situation. You always want clean innings for relievers if you can get them, but you start to see as this season gets almost 2 months in, you know, who are your guys that you feel comfortable with runners on base? And Tony Barnett last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon, was really good. Remember, he came in that situation, a couple of guys on. Bases loaded. Struck out Kevin Pillar, struck out Devin Travis, and pretty big spot as far as keeping the Rangers in that game. And it was ultimately 3-1. So for me, and understanding Jeff Bannister, that's why he's in there and warming up right now. And of course, you have the lefty in Claudio, who does just as good a job against righties as far as inducing weak contact if they decide to go to a pinch hitter. Now, the next lefty that's due up is Chris Coghlan, is still a couple of hitters away, but I think in the case of Jeff Bannister, liking to have him ready just in case. You start thinking about any potential maybe pinch hitters. Some big left-handed threats on the bench with Carrera and Goins, but just in case. And so that's why they go double barrels here and looking at those 2 guys to potentially put out any fire.
Tulowitzki always a dangerous at-bat. And he lifts this one in the air on the infield. Odor wants it, but Napoli is there, and he stays right with it.
Napoli tells him, get out of here. I got this. I mean, Andrew Cashner actually started running over a little bit first, like at first as if he had thoughts of maybe potentially catching that baseball. Take a look at Andrew Cashner right here. He got over there a little bit closer. I don't know where he was going, like he thought he was going to catch us. But you see Odor starting to wave the arm a little bit, and you see Mike Napoli yelling. Now, sometimes you're going to get guys that yell at the same time. They don't know each other. And Ricky, a little hug there, apologizing. But that is Mike Napoli's ball. The ball's in front of him. If the ball's behind him, then you would want Ruben Odor to take that. But because it's in front of him and in foul territory, that's Mike Napoli's ball all the way.
It's also the second out of the inning. Devin Travis, 1 for 2. Singled his last time up, steps in. It's 1-1. Travis has been swinging one of the better bats in these Blue Jays uniforms. I mentioned it earlier. Blue Jays wearing the all reds. They do that on Sundays this year in recognition of their country's 150th birthday in 2017. 1-2 the count on Travis.
You see that pitch count kind of right in line of where he has been. When you start to look at his starts this year and how deep he has gotten in games, he's only thrown 7 innings once. That was 2 starts ago against the Philadelphia Phillies when he threw the ball pretty well. 7 innings, 2 runs, and just 1 walk.
Broken bat, blew it near second. Cut off by Andrews. In time at first to get Travis, and the inning is done. And so Andrew Cashner giving up a run through 7, and he leads by 2.
This is a great play from Elvis Andrews, and a good job by Rougned Odor not to get in the way and to let Elvis take it. Reaches across on the broken bat 1 hopper and delivers another excellent throw.
Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. The Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Off to the 8th inning. Great job by Andrew Cashner today. A lot of smiles down in that dugout. His skipper having a word with him. Hey, watch every out-of-market regular season game live on MLB.TV Premium on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Go to MLB.TV for details. Jason Grilli, the veteran right-hander, is on.
Veteran indeed, 40 years old, and you see the numbers for him this year. The ERA has jumped way up. Walks a little bit high as well for Jason.
One ball, no strikes to Napoli, and he finds the inside corner.
15th different season now at the big league level for Grilli. Started out with the Marlins, White Sox, went to Detroit for a while, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and now here in Toronto.
Well, he can still bring it 93 miles per hour. Runs away from him just a little bit. And it's 2-1. Grilli, former first-round pick back in the day of the San Francisco Giants. Back in the late 90s. Acquired by Toronto last year, right about this time, in fact. It was May 31st last year when he was acquired for Sean Ratcliffe and cash from the Atlanta Braves. Tommy John survivor. And it's a high strike call. It's a full count on Napoli.
And the home runs have been a little bit of an issue for him so far this year. 5 of them allowed in 15 innings of work. It was just 8 last year when he pitched here for the Blue Jays, over 42 innings. So long ball's an issue.
Well, he gets Napoli for the first out of the 8th.
Let's check out our AT&T high-speed replay for today's game. We'll take a look at Andrew Cash and the great work that he has done, and the defense behind him really stepping up. The line drive to Rougned Odor that turned into a double play, and then this kind of unconventional 6-5-3 double play in the Joey Gallo spin. And then this play right here, a little one-hopper on a broken bat. You see Elvis Andrus having to reach out as that ball took a little bit of a funny hop at the end, but it has been all about the defense behind Andrew Cashner today for AT&T high-speed replay.
One away. Gallo in there. Homered in the 4th inning. The walk today as well. Oh, we saw this yesterday, right? First 3 hitters of the game were all true outcomes for the Rangers, and Gallo has been a true outcome today, all by himself. The walk, strikeout, the home run.
Well, that's his game. That's not surprising, as you see Keone Keller warming up now in the Ranger bullpen, most likely to start in the bottom of the 8th inning. But that is kind of how he is. I think he is a really good example of that conversation and what happens. It's going to be, I don't want to say all or nothing, because it's not fair, but that's a lot of what his game is. He's working at it. He's certainly gotten much better. He's made monster improvements this season in a year which he wasn't even expected necessarily to break camp with the team. So he's done a great job, but he is definitely a prime example of the 3 true outcome type of hitter.
Down on the count at the moment. Ball and 2 strikes. Bounces this one right side. And picked cleanly for out number 2. Well, I'm a big fan of this giveaway. One that's just in time for summer. Saturday, June 17th. First 15,000 fans will get a Nomar Mazara Big Chill cooler backpack, courtesy of Dairy Max. Rangers and Mariners, Saturday, May 17th, 4 o'clock game. Tickets available TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. He is the Big Chill. And now Ryan Rua swings and misses at strike 1.
Now, what do you think? I know you're not a fan of the wave, right? We had this conversation before, but they have the slow motion wave going on right now, where it's almost a silent slow motion deal working its way around here. Rogers Center. Do you hate that one as much as you hate the regular one? No fun guy?
Listen, I'm not in favor of the wave.
This is a good ballpark for it, because the seats, for the most part, go all the way around. The ballpark itself is very round.
Well, here's the thing.
The silent one, very interesting.
You want to have a little fun and do the wave. I get it. But what about the people around you who are kind of interested in a close, well-played game right now?
They can enjoy it. They got that second and a half when the wave goes by to spare. I don't think it's going to really crush their experience. I mean, how many are here today? Did we do attendance today? Did we get it? I don't think we got it.
I'll guess so. You want to do a guessing game? I'll say 44,782. 7-7. What did I say? 7-4. What did I just say? 44,782. That's my guess.
All right, I'll go 41,651.
Okay. 41,651. So they do the wave. We do guessing games.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back on the field. 2-2 the count to Rua. Rangers up by 2. Got a big insurance run last inning. Grilly's 2-2. And he strikes out Ryan Rua. Jason Grilly at 40 years old, boy, brings some intensity in this 8th inning. Well, to the last of the 8th we go. Rangers up by 2. Northwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keep calm to learn more. All right, bottom of the 8th. And the CN Tower just next door. 2-run game. How about our progressive upcoming schedule? The Rays in town, Globe Life Park tomorrow night. Our pregame coverage will begin early tomorrow, 6 o'clock. And so Tampa Bay in town for 3, a day off Thursday, and then the Astros over the weekend. First, though, some unfinished business this afternoon. Keone Kela has come on in the bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Coghlan takes ball 1.
And you take a look at the arsenal here, and it is just 2 pitches, fastball, curveball, but that is not a mistake. Kela has not allowed a hit on his curveball yet this season. He's been very good with the fastball as well.
And there is the curve. Looks beautiful. 1-1.
He's got tremendous break. I mean, just top to bottom. You look at his arm angle. We talked about it a little bit with Marco Estrada yesterday, the starter for the Blue Jays, how his arm angle has gradually gotten higher. Kela has found that right arm angle for him as high as it is. And when you get a little bit more over the top, you got a better chance of throwing a breaking ball. It's going to have true downward 12-6 break.
Had a Coghlan 1 and 2. Coghlan, and then the top of the order, Kevin Pillar and Josh Donaldson, and a breaking ball down the left field line, foul and not a play. Boy, what a beautiful day today here in Toronto. Roof open, first time this year at Rogers Center. Big crowd, somewhere between 41 and 44,000, depending on who you believe. We'll find out soon enough. It was like almost 60 degrees at game time. 59 Fahrenheit. This ball ripped foul by Coghlan. Early this morning I went outside, it was like 17 Celsius. It
really?
Was, yeah.
And what is that? Fahrenheit?
Times 9/5 plus 32. Right?
That's right. Oh yeah. Is that all?
Coghlan locking horns with Kela here, and he swings and misses at strike 3. The leadoff strikeout in the 8th for Kela.
And here it is, that really good curveball from Kela. Pretty much goes right at Coghlan, no surprises, and he swings right through it. Perfect location. Just such a great pitch. And that one he actually made a little bit smaller, a little bit harder. There's ones where the break can get even bigger, so it's not just a difficult breaking ball to hit, but one that'll vary a little bit on the break and the velocity.
Curveball, and this ball hit way up in the air out to left field, but it's not going to carry. A little collision, and it's Hoying who holds on to it. 2 away. I've seen a little bit of that lately, some miss or lack of communication in the outfield.
You see Jared Hoying smiling about it, and you can smile when the catch is actually made. It's a little bit of a different story when it's not, but yeah, the communication here needs to be a little bit better. You get the out, and that's fine. You see Hoying waving his hand. You see Ryan Rua also waving his hand, and he's saying, I got it, I got it. And every time you hear that center fielder yelling like that, it is everybody else's obligation to get out of the way. The center fielder always has first rights for any fly ball.
Good fastball to Donaldson for a strike. Donaldson 0 for 3 today. A strikeout back in the 3rd inning, and he has grounded out twice. Breaking ball again. Lifted high in the air, back of second base. Andrews will handle it. And it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th inning for Keone Kela. Very sharp. We go to the 9th in Toronto. time this year, and J.P. Howell is on in relief.
And you see the numbers there for the lefty, off to a little bit of a slow start. He missed some time. That's why there's not nearly as many games pitched as you might expect for J.P. Howell. 15 games when it was all said and done with a left shoulder injury. Pretty much missed most of April, activated on April 26th.
Well, he will face Hoying in the top of the order in this 9th inning. A 3-1 Rangers lead. It's 2-1. Get our actual attendance figure today.
Uh-oh.
Take a look at Bush, readying for the 9th. 46,188. It is officially a sellout today here in Toronto. CJ, thank you for playing. It's 2-2.
We both underbid significantly.
Yeah, we did.
Just more than me, which was dumb on my part. I should just went one lower or one higher than you did. Will it? How many hats did they have? Did we know?
I don't know. It was like it had to be it was 20,000. 20,000 of those cowboy hats on Cowboy Day.
So 26,000 people going home disappointed.
Well,
they didn't get a hat.
I mean, really? You'd probably live with it, right? You like that?
Absolutely.
I'm sure there'll be some happy folk and some.
Like that guy didn't get one. Look how ticked off he is.
Yeah. I guess. It's like being at the Kentucky Derby. Bouncer, second base. Travis takes care of Horn. Well, speaking of races, how about America's original nighttime IndyCar Series race? It returns to the all-new Texas Motor Speedway Saturday night, June 10th. First 20,000 fans through the gates. We'll get a Graham Rahal bobblehead. He is the defending Rain Guard Water Sealer 600 champ. And it was presented by Fox Sports Southwest. Buy one Rain Guard Water Sealer 600 ticket and get one free at TexasMotorspeedway.com. And this offer does expire June 4th. One out, and here's Chu, 0 for 4 so far today. Nice curveball. 1-1. Of course, if this was the Kentucky Derby, it would not be J.P. Howell. It would be Thurston Howell III, millionaire, and his wife Lovey.
They'd be there, I'm sure.
2-1, if they could have gotten off the island. All those years with Ginger and Marianne. And who do you think you would be on Gilligan's Island?
Who would I want to be, and then who would I actually be, are probably two different answers.
The professor, maybe?
Want to be the professor.
Yeah, I know that.
Don Trevor Willis, that was his nickname for me when I worked with him on FS1. He called me the professor.
Fitting.
In real life, I'm probably more of a Gilligan.
There's ball 4-2. And so the Rangers have a base runner in the 9th inning. Bush, as you can see, will have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the bottom of the 9th. Batista, Morales, and Justin Smoke. Pinch runner for Chu. Delano DeShields jumps in the game.
We knew it wasn't too serious. Delano did not start today. They just had some back spasms. We saw him react after he tried to make that play down the left field line yesterday. Ended up kind of hitting the walls. He went for a head-first dive, but obviously feels good enough to be able to pinch run.
Gets away from Martin again, and DeShields takes off. The throw, though, way ahead of him, and he is out. Boy, Russell Martin kind of made a very good reaction chasing down that ball and showed off a good arm.
And he did a really nice job, and this ball takes off on him, and he jumps up right away and turns and throws and does not hesitate. It was even close. I didn't see what kind of jump Delino got on that ball, if he took off right away or not, but let's see here. A little bit of a pause in there.
2-4 put out at second base, 2 away. And Andrews shoots this one into that right field corner. Will it stay fair? It does. Off the base of the fence. Bautista had a little trouble with it, and Andrews gets to second with a double. Well, that put out is huge now. Likely would have been a run scored.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Delino DeShields running, no doubt, in the third hit today, as you see a slider kind of hang up and away to Elvis Andrews, and Russell Martin wanted that ball down and in. This ball had some good carry on it. Watch Jose Bautista. Looked like he started to come in a little bit. Not a great route. You see how he kind of came in and then went out, but he wasn't going to catch that ball anyway. And Elvis has got the swipe right. T to S.
Yeah, he's been on that lately. He's been really good. Very mindful. All right, Mazara's had a really good day at the plate. Doubled his last time up, 2 for 4. And Howell just misses. Rangers got a big insurance run in the 7th inning. Looking to deliver another one right here and give just a little more breathing room to Matt Bush, who will come on in the bottom of the 9th. Two and one. He's been ready out there for a little bit. Well, this road trip started in Detroit. Rangers took 2 of 3 from the Tigers. Swept, though, in Boston. Now trying to salvage a win in the finale here in Toronto. Little bouncer by the mound. Donaldson charges and gets it over first in time to get Mazara. So the inning is over. Matt Bush, he's been ready to go. He's coming out. Bottom of the 9th coming. Rangers up by 2.
beautiful Toronto, Ontario. And this is a Rangers destination trip. One of the things the fans get is a Q&A session, an autograph session, a photo op with a player this year, this trip. That was Matt Bush, who was asked, among other things, what do fans say to him when they're out there near him in the bullpen? He said the fans in Boston were great. Perhaps because of the rivalry here, he says the fans here have been somewhat rude and inappropriate about his past. But Matt says, hey, I get the last laugh because if they're rude and inappropriate, I'm fired up when I take them out. He proved it on Friday night. Let's see what he does here today, guys.
All right, thanks, John. Yeah, let's see. Well, he's been pretty darn good since taking over this closer role. And how about this? Bush against Jose Bautista to start the bottom of the 9th inning, and a check swing foul.
And I'm sure you may be familiar with the fact that these guys have faced each other before. As you take a quick look here at the pitch arsenal from Matt Bush, and he's been dominating this year with that great fastball, just a 178 batting average against on his heater, and a pitch that has been averaging also nearly 98 miles an hour on average.
That one at 98 makes the count 0-2.
But you think about, you know, some of the history here with Jose Bautista and Matt Bush, and really kind of kicked this whole thing off. I mean, the bat flip was one thing, and then everything kind of escalated last year. But it's only been 3 at-bats for Jose Bautista against Matt Bush in his career, regular and postseason, 2 strikeouts, and that infamous hit by pitch.
Now let's go back. This last year, back at Globe Life Park.
Jose didn't appreciate it. Now, he didn't want to go out and talk to Matt Bush about it. He didn't feel that much about it, where he felt like he wanted to talk to him, and tried to take it out on Odor instead.
A bouncer up the middle, and Andrews takes care of Bautista, 1 away.
But Matt really has been so good, and we've talked about this. We haven't seen him get a save opportunity in a while. He hasn't pitched very much, actually, over the last 7 days. He's only thrown a third of an inning and threw just 2 pitches. You remember the first game of this series, when Jeff Bannister brought him in just to try to keep him sharp, give him a little bit of game adrenaline. There just have not been opportunities, but when he is out there, especially in these situations, it just seems like he has been the perfect candidate for it from a stuff standpoint, but also from a mentality standpoint.
Morales waits, taps it foul, the count 0-2. A little bit low, 1-2 to Morales, who is 0 for 2 with the walk. First time he's gone hitless so far in this series. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had the home run single on Friday. Morales had the double yesterday to go along with a walk.
You know that Andrew Cashner's not a huge strikeout guy. The Blue Jays have only struck out 3 times today. One of those was against Keller. That ties for their 2nd lowest, at least so far. Matt Bush certainly capable of finishing some guys off, and we'll see how this thing ends. But this is a season low, or excuse me, tied for 2nd lowest for the Blue Jays. Had a game where they struck out just 2 times against the Seattle Mariners back on May 13th. Maybe Cash missing those National League days a little bit. He's picking up that bat.
2-2 rolled out into short right field. Odor is on top of it, 2 away. A couple of ground ball outs. And now the Blue Jays' last chance is Justin Smoke. Smoke is 0 for 3. And it takes strike one. Well, Rangers have won 2 and lost 6 on this road trip. The road, not just this trip, but the road in general, has been very tough on the Rangers this year. 8-18 on the road coming into play today. So this will be, should Busch finish it off, a very nice win, one they will gladly take going back home to start another homestand.
You know, he's trying, right? The goal is to play at 500 or slightly above, and you think of, okay, well, a 5-4 road trip would have been ideal, but
away.
The Rangers finish this off, they'll be 3-6 on this road trip. I'm talking about 1 or 2 game difference. Is all it was going to take, but I do believe, you know, people talk about momentum. It doesn't matter or not. There is something to be said for winning that last game, especially at the end of a long road trip. Even if it didn't go the way that you wanted to, you know, you've been around enough now. You get on that plane, it's a little bit of a different feeling that you fly back to Dallas.
Do a little louder music. 0-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
It's just a better mood. I mean, 3-6 was not the goal, and overall, no, the Rangers are not pleased with the road trip, assuming that they win this one. But winning that last one, get home, go sleep in your own bed, and start a homestand, and get this thing turned back around and back over 500 and beyond.
This one hit up the middle. That's a base hit for Smoke.
A good swing here, as we see from the side. Justin Smoke poked his ball pretty well. That Busch took a shot at him, not much of a chance to catch that ball back up the middle, and all of a sudden now here come the Blue Jays, at least with 2 outs and a tying run at the plate.
All right, Russell Martin. He's been aggressive today. He has seen 4 pitches. He's swung at all 4. And he takes ball 1. Ooh.
That's pretty good.
Three-1 ball game. Martin with 3 homers this year, a couple of doubles. A little late on that one. 99 miles per hour.
See Matt Busch 79 to 99 so far today. Is that curveball at 79 miles an hour? Usually sits right around 80, and then of course the great fastball that is topped out at 99.
1-1. And this one hit on the ground, and that is through. A base hit into left field for Martin. So a couple of men on. Now Busch.
Oh, we talk about how the artificial turf here in Toronto will help with ground balls, and here's a perfect example of, you know, a decently hit ground ball, but just one that's going to get through a lot quicker on the turf and out of the reach of Joey Gallo and Elvis Andrus.
These fans have been waiting for something to get fired up about. And they're fired up now. Tulowitzki is 0 for 3 today. He's never faced Matt Busch before. A little mystery for both going head to head. Blue Jays scored a run in the bottom of the first. It was a sac fly by Bautista. They have not scored since. Smoke at second, Martin at first. And it is 2-0.
Troy Tulowitzki has not been particularly good against high velocity like Matt Bush can bring. You look over the last couple of years going back to 2015, and it's just a 200 batting average against on fastballs 96 miles an hour and harder. Slugging percentage at just 367. So the fastball for Bush, especially elevated, is a good matchup against Tulowitzki.
It's a strike call, 2-1.
100 miles an hour right there. Listen, it's not to say that Tulowitzki cannot hit that fastball. It's just it has not been a strength of his over the last 3 seasons.
Foul back to our direction. Blue Jays are down to their final strike. Couple of 2-out hits. Justin Smoke, Russell Martin. Bush 5 saves so far this year. Most of them have come pretty easily. With a little more tension for him. The 2-2. And a bouncer shortstop. Andrews is there. They'll go the short way to second, and this one is over. So Bush picks up his 6th save, and the Rangers salvage a win in Toronto. Another win for Andrew Cashner. 3-1 our final score. Stay with us. Rick Renner, Mark McLemore, Tom Grieve. I'll be back with a lot of player reaction analysis. They'll talk about Cashner's day, Joey Gallo's home run, and so much more. We'll be back here as well. For CJ Nikowski, John Radigan, and our entire crew, this is Dave Raymond inviting you to stay with us. Plenty more coverage continuing right after this.